Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Martine Ganto. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, what exactly is turmeric? If you've ever sprinkled it into curry, sipped it in a golden latte, or noticed its bright stain on a countertop, you've already met this vibrant golden root. Turmeric is everywhere, yet surprisingly misunderstood. Is it just a spice, a medicine, or something far older and richer than any label can capture? Today, we're peeling back that golden glow and tracing the long, fascinating story behind one of the world's most familiar and treasured ingredients right here on History of Simple Things. At its core, turmeric comes from a plant called Curcuma longa, a leafy tropical plant related to ginger. And that family connection makes sense because turmeric doesn't come from a seed or a leaf. It comes from a rhizome, an underground stem that looks a lot like knobby ginger root. Fresh turmeric is earthy, slightly bitter, and surprisingly fragrant, with a sharpness that doesn't fully show up once it's dried and powdered. The plant thrives in warm, humid climates, which is why turmeric has been grown for centuries in South Asia, especially in India, where the conditions are almost perfect for it. After harvesting, the rhizomes are boiled, dried, and ground into the fine, bright yellow powder most of us recognize. That process alone tells us something important. Turmeric isn't accidental. It's cultivated, prepared, and preserved with intention. Long before turmeric was sprinkled into food, it held a very different role. In ancient India, turmeric wasn't primarily a seasoning. It was a symbol. It appeared in religious rituals, wedding ceremonies, and traditional medicine long before it ever became a kitchen staple. Its vibrant yellow color was associated with purity, prosperity, and protection, and it was often applied to the skin during ceremonies meant to bless or cleanse the body. In Ayurvedic medicine, turmeric was used to treat wounds, inflammation, digestive issues, and infections. This wasn't based on lab studies or nutrition labels. It was knowledge passed down through observation and experience. For centuries, turmeric existed in a space where medicine, spirituality, and daily life overlapped, which is something modern culture often forgets when we reduce it to a superfood. Turmeric didn't stay local for long. As trade routes expanded across Asia, the Middle East, and eventually Europe, turmeric traveled with merchants, healers, and explorers. It was prized not just for flavor, but for color. In fact, turmeric was sometimes used as a dye for fabrics, thanks to its intense pigmentation. When Europeans encountered turmeric, they often compared it to saffron, even calling it Indian saffron because of its color, though the two couldn't be more different in origin or value. While turmeric never replaced saffron, it carved out its own place, especially as global cuisine became more interconnected. Over time, turmeric shifted from a sacred and medicinal substance into a culinary one, becoming essential to spice blends, stews, and sauces across multiple cultures. The real star inside turmeric is a compound called curcumin. This is what gives turmeric its deep golden color and much of its reputation. Curcumin has been studied extensively for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which helps explain why turmeric has been trusted for so long in traditional medicine. But here's the part that often gets lost in modern hype. Curcumin doesn't work in isolation the way supplements suggest. In traditional cooking, turmeric is almost always combined with fats or black pepper, which dramatically improves curcumin absorption. This isn't a coincidence, It's cultural wisdom refined over generations. Turmeric wasn't meant to be swallowed in capsules. It was meant to be eaten as part of a meal, woven naturally into daily life. Flavor-wise, turmeric is subtle but grounding. On its own, it's slightly bitter, earthy, and warm, but not spicy in the way chili is. Its real power comes from how it blends with other ingredients, adding depth rather than shouting for attention. That's why it's often used as a background note in curries, soups, rice dishes, and marinades. Turmeric doesn't just add taste, it adds color, turning food golden and visually inviting. In many cultures, that color signals nourishment and comfort, even before the first bite. It's also why turmeric shows up in unexpected places like mustard, where it quietly does its job without most people realizing it's there at all. In recent years, turmeric has gone through a transformation. What was once a humble root became a global wellness icon, featured in lattes, smoothies, skincare, and supplements. While science has supported some traditional uses, marketing has often exaggerated others. Turmeric didn't suddenly become powerful. It always was, within context. The problem arises when ancient knowledge is stripped of balance and turned into shortcuts. Traditional cultures didn't consume turmeric to chase longevity or detox trends. They used it because it was available, trusted, and part of a broader lifestyle. Understanding turmeric means respecting that history, not just extracting one compound and calling it magic. So what exactly is turmeric? It's a root, a spice, a dye, a medicine, and a symbol, all at once. It's proof that some of the most ordinary things in our lives carry extraordinary histories. Turmeric reminds us that before science explained why something worked, people already knew that it did simply by paying attention. And even today, when you sprinkle a little turmeric into a dish, you're participating in a tradition that spans thousands of years, countless meals, and generations of quiet wisdom. Not bad for something most of us only notice when it stains our fingers yellow. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.